Last spring, my neighbor, he's around 70 and has been gardening even longer than I have, came over and asked if he could install a copper antenna in my backyard garden. I figured he was pulling my leg, but nope, dead serious. He claimed it'd supercharge my plants, making them grow up to 3 times larger. Skeptical as I was, I gave him the go-ahead anyway. Over the following 4 months, what unfolded totally flipped my perspective on home food growing. My tomatoes ballooned to enormous sizes. My peppers churned out fruits like nothing I'd witnessed, and the total yield from that plot ended up a solid 3 times my usual haul from the same area. I've tended this backyard garden for 18 years now. Same dirt, same raised beds, pretty much the same veggies annually. Yields stayed reliable. I track 'em all. Take one 4 feet by 8 feet bed. I'd normally pull 40 to 50 pounds of tomatoes per season, around 20 pounds of peppers, and 15 to 20 pounds of beans. Year in, year out, those figures held steady. Good seasons balancing the rough ones. I figured that was the garden's limit. Then, in late March, my neighbor dropped by with his idea. He pulled out a roll of copper wire and some brass fittings, explaining he'd been diving into electroculture, copper antennas, to boost plant growth by tapping atmospheric energy. Honestly, it struck me as pseudoscience, one of those viral gardening fads. But since he volunteered to construct and set it up at no cost, I shrugged and said, go for it. Worst case, zero change. Here's the kicker with steady harvests over decades. You assume you've peaked your plot's output. Truth is, most gardens operate way below capacity. Soil wears down, micronutrients fade, and soil's natural electrical buzz diminishes. Roots crave more than basic NPK feeds. They want trace elements, helpful microbes and fungi, plus that vital soil energy transfer. Traditional methods pump in fertilizers, but overlook soil's electrical and magnetic traits. Vital soil conducts electricity, channeling energy. Lifeless stuff doesn't. My neighbor aimed to revive that with copper, fashioning an atmospheric energy collector. I was clueless on the science, but intrigued enough to let him proceed. He arrived one Saturday morning in late March, hauling copper wire, a wooden dowel, brass parts, and a drill. Knocked it out in roughly 45 minutes. Materials breakdown. A 6-foot-long, 1-inch diameter wooden dowel, $3 at any hardware spot. 20 feet of bare 12-gauge copper wire, $8. An 18-inch copper or brass ground rod. He repurposed a brass tent stake, $4 new. Plus brass wire nuts or connectors, $2. Grand total, $15 to $17. Assembly went like this. First, he coiled the copper wire tightly in a spiral up the dowel, kicking off from the base. Coils spaced half an inch apart, all the way to the top, with 3 feet of wire dangling from the bottom. Next, he hammered the dowel into the raised bed center, sinking it 12 inches deep, so the coiled section rose 4.5 feet above ground. Finally, he hooked that trailing 3-foot wire to the ground stake, pounded 18 inches into the soil, 2 feet from the main antenna, wrapped and fastened it secure. Done. Just a lone copper-wound wooden stake amid the bed, wired to its ground anchor. It appeared quirky, resembling some bizarre yard decoration, but he instructed me to keep it in place through the whole season and observe the outcome. My neighbor attempted to break down the mechanism for me, and I'll relay his explanation in the simplest terms possible. The air carries an electrical charge, particularly amid specific weather patterns. Thunderstorms, shifts in temperature, or even routine daily fluctuations generate electric potential up there. The copper coil functions as an antenna, capturing that ambient charge. Down in the dirt, this minor electrical input boosts root growth. It ramps up nutrient transport. It amps up helpful microbes' activity. In short, it aims to energize the soil electrically, making it more vibrant and aiding plants in pulling in nutrients better. He referenced vintage research from the 1920s and 30s on electroculture. Farmers tinkered with it back then, but it faded away once chemical fertilizers took over. The fertilizer companies weren't keen on pushing free energy from the sky. I wasn't sure I bought into it, but with the setup done, I figured I'd monitor developments. The initial 2 weeks brought no oddities. I sowed my tomatoes, peppers, and beans in early April, as usual. Standard spacing, routine maintenance, watered as required, no fertilizer applied, just typical spring tending. Around week 3, subtle changes caught my eye. Plants closest to the antenna looked a bit larger. Nothing extreme, but evident. I took measurements. Tomatoes inside 3 feet of the antenna stood about 2 inches taller than those at the bed's far side. Identical planting time, same types. Their foliage appeared deeper green, more robust. By week 4, the gap was obvious. Nearby plants showed much stronger vigor, sturdier stalks, fuller leaf sets, superior roots when I carefully inspected. I began weekly checks, snapping photos from consistent spots to track it accurately. Was this genuine or wishful thinking? The numbers didn't deceive. Plants in a 3-foot circle around the antenna grew roughly 30% quicker than those at the bed's borders. By May, the contrast was undeniable. Tomato plants by the antenna towered massively, hitting 6 feet by mid-May. Edge plants reached maybe 4 feet. Peppers close by boasted double the flower buds with far higher fruit set. Beans climbed quicker, bloomed sooner, and dropped pods 2 weeks earlier than the outer ones. My neighbor dropped in every couple weeks to inspect. He wasn't fazed, claiming he'd witnessed it in his own plot. He noted bigger boosts post-thunderstorms. Within 2 or 3 days after a storm, antenna-adjacent plants surged visibly. He explained storms build massive atmospheric electric potential, which the antenna harvests and feeds to the ground. Early June brought solid figures, plants under 3 feet from the antenna, 45% bigger than controls. Between 3 and 5 feet, 20% larger. Beyond 5 feet, standard pace. A distinct 5-foot influence zone emerged around the antenna. I mailed soil samples to a lab. Antenna proximity versus bed edge. Composition matched closely, but antenna soil showed mildly elevated electrical conductivity, aligning with his prediction. Come July, tomato harvests stunned with size gaps. Antenna zone fruits hit 12, 14, even 16 ounces. Outer ones stayed typical at 6 to 8 ounces. From 3 antenna plants, I pulled 12 pounds in 1 week. From 3 edge plants, just 4 pounds. Triple output, identical varieties and upkeep. Peppers mirrored it. Antenna bells bulked to 8 to 10 ounces apiece. Hefty walls, ideal form. Outer ones, 4 to 6 ounces. Antenna beans yielded steadily for 8 weeks. 28 pounds from that area, 9 pounds from outside. Again, about triple. By August's close, I'd tallied and logged it all. In that 4x8 bed, the antenna area spanned 12 square feet and yielded 142 pounds of tomatoes, 31 pounds of peppers, and 28 pounds of beans, for a total of 201 pounds. The outer area covering 20 square feet, gave 51 pounds of tomatoes, 18 pounds of peppers, and 9 pounds of beans, totaling 78 pounds. That means the antenna zone put out almost 4 times as much per square foot as the outer section. The whole bed produced 279 pounds altogether, compared to my usual 85 pounds, a 3.2-fold boost from one $15 copper antenna. After that season, I put in plenty of hours digging into what caused it. I pored over electroculture studies from the 1920s and 30s and spent hours chatting with my neighbor. Turns out this isn't some fresh idea. For years, farmers and scientists tested electrical boosts for plants. They discovered that tiny currents in the soil ramp up growth yields and resistance to diseases. But once cheap synthetic fertilizers hit the market, the research faded away. Chemicals took over, and electroculture got shelved. Here's how I see the antenna operating. It gathers electrical charge from the air. That energy runs down the copper coil to the ground stake, then spreads out into the nearby soil. The subtle electric field perks up root hairs, helping them grab nutrients better. It also revs up soil microbes. Bacteria and fungi work harder, breaking down organics quicker and freeing up nutrients. Plants end up pulling in and using food more effectively, even in mess soil. No hocus pocus, just physics and biology teaming up, though you won't hear about it much since there's nothing to package and sell. Atmospheric electricity doesn't patent well. If you're game to test it, here's the exact shopping list. First, a 6-foot-long, 1-inch diameter wooden dowel or stake from the hardware store, around $3. Second, 20 feet of 12-gauge bare copper wire from the electrical aisle, about $8. Third, an 18-inch brass or copper rod from a garden or hardware store, roughly $4. You could swap in a long brass tent peg. Fourth, brass wire connectors, $2. Grand total, $15 to $17. Tools, a drill or hammer for stakes plus wire cutters. Step 1. Coil the copper wire tightly around the dowel, spiraling from the bottom up. Space loops about ½ an inch apart, with 3 feet of wire hanging off the bottom. Step 2. Hammer the stake into your bed's center, at least 12 inches deep. Keep it steady and vertical. Step 3. Sink the ground rod, 2 feet from the main stake, 18 inches into the dirt. Step 4. Link the coil's loose wire to the rod. Wrap secure or use a connector for a firm bond. Step 5. Leave it there all season. Zero upkeep, just let it run. One setup covers a 5-foot radius, roughly 75 to 80 square feet. For bigger plots, add more every 10 feet. I'd say begin with 1. Try a single bed, track your numbers like I did, and check for the boost. Quick hits on top questions. Works in any climate. My neighbor claims yes, but it's punchier where thunderstorms roll through often. Atmospheric charge depends on your spot. Must be copper. Tops for conduction. Aluminum might do, but copper shines brighter. Skip steel or iron. They corrode and quit conducting. Year-round, okay. I pull mine out. Wooden wire hold up seasons if stored dry. Lightning magnet. Nah, just 6 feet of wood. Not riskier than a plant stake. No problems here. Pots. Neighbor tested big containers. It helps, but weaker due to less soil. Ground beds rule. I put up that copper antenna last March at my neighbor's nudge. Skeptical as I was, it tripled the bed's output. No pricey chems or fancy tricks, just $15 in wire and wood. It's been in 2 full seasons now, delivering the same huge gains each time. By week 4 this season, the plants right by the antenna are already crushing it compared to the ones farther out. Don't think I'm calling this sorcery or anything. What I mean is I've tracked a reliable, repeatable outcome every time. If you give it a go, make sure to log everything. Grab some pics, size up your plants, and weigh the final yield. Find out if you match the same gains I saw. If it works for you, that's your grocery bill slashed for the price of a quick bite out. Now and then, those dusty old tricks are ripe for a comeback.